WVUA News at 6. Across the Caribbean and up the Gulf Coast, people are bracing for Tropical Storm Isaac to intensify. Will West Alabama feel the effects of the storm? We'll have the very latest. And we'll show you what steps Alabama Governor Robert Bentley is taking to help make sure this state is ready for any possible disaster.
You're watching Alabama's WVUA News at 6 with your award-winning news team, Lynn Brooks, Philip Coleman, weather with Richard Scott, and sports with Gary Harris.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Philip Coleman. Lynn Brooks is on assignment. We begin tonight with a look at what could become a major influence on your weather. Tropical Storm Isaac could soon become a hurricane. So what would that mean for Florida and the Gulf Coast? Here now is a first check on Alabama's home team forecast with WVUA's Daniel Sparkman.
Hey, Philip, you know, we have this system out here in the Caribbean. Right now, still a tropical storm, but it is expected once it moves on up towards the warmer waters of the Gulf to become a hurricane. So I'm going to put this in motion right now. Winds sustained at 40 miles per hour, but today we've seen this trend move toward the Alabama coastline, as you see here, moving up past Florida as a Category 1 hurricane, and then it could impact our weather on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Definitely something we're going to have to keep our eyes on. We've got a new update coming out in about an hour, but I'll show you the latest models coming up in home team weather.
Thanks, Daniel. And across the Caribbean and up the Gulf Coast, people are bracing for Tropical Storm Isaac to intensify. Hurricane experts say it could soon be very disastrous for Haiti, which is still recovering from the 2010 earthquake. And in Florida, the Republican National Convention is at risk. Reporter Stacey Cohen has the latest.
See you at the convention.
Or not. It depends upon a swirling system of wind and rain named Isaac. The tropical storm is currently cruising the Caribbean south of Puerto Rico, where residents prepared for the worst. Although Isaac isn't a hurricane yet, it could potentially pack a punch strong enough to postpone scheduled terror trials at Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. And in South Florida, the run on the stores has begun.
I got another lantern, I got a lot of AA batteries, and I got the little powered radio.
Like store shelves, longtime Floridians are well stocked with hurricane know-how. Governor Rick Scott says residents are getting ready.
We have dealt with hurricanes. I mean, the state is more prepared than any state in the country for hurricanes.
But how ready are the 50,000 folks headed to Tampa for the Republican National Convention, slated to start on Monday? The Tampa Bay Times Forum is in a mandatory evacuation zone. But make no mistake, rain or shine, the RNC vows this show of political force will go on.
There's no such thing as canceling. As I said, I mean, we have contingency plans. Our first priority is always going to be the safety of the people that are here in Tampa Bay, both the visitors and the residents.
So the stage is set, the security cameras ready. It just remains to be seen if the world will be watching a convention or an evacuation. Stacey Cohen, WVUA News.
And officials in the Dominican Republic have issued a hurricane warning, and tropical storm warnings now extend to Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands. And Governor Robert Bentley is taking new steps to help Alabama be ready for any natural disaster. These new initiatives are part of Ready Alabama. Earlier today, leaders discussed additional efforts to empower the public with information that would help with preparations. According to Governor Bentley, these new initiatives are designed to reach more people through a renewed focus on web content, social media interaction, strategic partnership, statewide media, and the governor's office.
To upgrade this website, and with Lamar helping us with the billboards, it's just a way that we can warn people across the state when we have a natural disaster that's impending.
And if you would like to have more information about this new disaster preparedness initiative, you can find a link to Ready Alabama. Just go through our website, that's WVUATV.com. In other news now, federal health officials say the current West Nile virus outbreak is one of the largest in the U.S., with 4 times the usual number of cases for this time of year. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says, beyond setting a record for this time of year, the cases seem to be accelerating with about 400 cases reported during the last week. Now, so far, there's just been 1 case reported in Tuscaloosa County, and according to Dr. Robert Posey with Med Center North, even when someone has West Nile virus, sometimes they might not know it.
80% of the people that get infected never have any symptoms, and 20% are, have severe viral symptoms, with fever and muscle aches and pain and some nausea, vomiting, headaches, and only really about 1 in 150 that get infected actually have the severe neurological symptoms, the encephalitis, meningitis symptoms.
And experts think that the mild winter, early spring, and very hot summer help to stimulate the mosquito population and the spread of the virus. And mosquitoes pick up this virus from birds and then spread it to humans. We hear a lot these days about the cost of education and the growing amount of student loan debt. Now, new for you at 6, a look at one educational option for people wanting to go beyond high school but might be concerned about the cost of a 4-year degree. Classes at Shelton State Community College in Tuscaloosa start on Monday. Shelton's Dean of Students says if you're on a budget, a community college can be a good resource. Shelton says one reason it's shifting its calendar this year to start after classes start at the U of A is to pick up those U of A students wanting to add courses to their class load.
We've really tightened up our drop add period. So for example, if we start and there's a student who comes and needs to pick up an extra class, for example, at Shelton, as a university student, it might have been more difficult for them if we started before the university. And so we're trying to afford that opportunity for students who might need to pick up a class or two.
And Dr. Hubner also says that if you still haven't applied for Shelton State to enroll for the current fall semester, it's too late. But if you have already been admitted to another college and want to transfer, there is still time to do that.